Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since we've had an episode of fun with models, and I thought I would talk about airbrushes. And the reason I want to do that is because I was digging through a few things, and I ran across my old Tester's Mini Blue Ice air compressor. And this thing still runs. I think it's one of the best compressors on the market. It's one of those oilless, just it keeps on going. Now it's like one constant speed. Now, if you wanted to get like real, you can't really adjust the airflow, but it's a workhorse of a compressor, and I used this many years until I uh, upgraded up to the mini airbrush compressors. But I wanted to, so I found that in a box. I was going to go add that to the shed to go with a few other airbrush antiquities that I have acquired, which brought to another subject. And I didn't ever mean to be it, but I'm also a airbrush collector, and it wasn't really by design. It was just more of me acquiring airbrushes throughout the years. Which one did I like the best, and all that. And my first airbrush was a Badger 350, which that is in the shed, and I forgot to go get it to show. But the second one that I really worked with was, let me get my little baggie here, was the Aztec airbrush. I love the design of these. It was almost, I want to say flawless. It really didn't have any problems. The only thing that I did not like with the Aztec airbrushes is the tips. You change the tips. If you wanted to do fine, had a tip for that. A fine line, I want to say a wider line, another tip for that. If you want to do a different type of spray pattern, there was, like 10 different tips you could put on it. I always use just the one fine line tip for it, and it was just a really good workhorse airbrush. Even the design, to me, if you notice the grips, it felt good. Either if you're right-handed or left-handed, it just fit in the fingers. But they don't make it anymore, and I have a few different Aztecs. Some of them were plastic bodies, which they tend to, because I airbrushed a lot. Then they went to the metal body, but they were really good in my opinion. It's just I think a very just a very versatile airbrush. So one thing a lot of people ask is how do you keep the airbrush good working order? And the thing you have to do is you got to keep it clean. And there was an old gentleman that always told me, he goes, if you have an airbrush, you got to keep it clean. You got to keep it clean like your real weapon. You got to keep that clean. Keep your airbrush clean. You won't have any problems. He is absolutely right. There's a little few things that do hiccup along the way when you have an airbrush, but other than that, if you keep it clean all the time, it works forever. But so I was I was a collector of airbrushes and really didn't know it. So I went from a Badger, I went to the Aztec, then I went to the Iwata, and I got a box up there. It's got a bunch of Iwatas, like the Neos. You can get that's the entry kind of cheap grade airbrush if you want to get in. And I picked them up throughout the years. I won them at contests. Like that's the Iwata BCR. That's a siphon. That's the CR, which is the gravity feed. And Iwata worked out really well. Badger works really well too. I've had both them. I use more Iwata than I've done any of the other airbrushes. Then I pretty much I say upgrade or downgrade. Most of y'all know, if you don't ever see, a lot of people don't get to see the airbrushes. I like the clones. I know it's a little touchy subject. You got a name brand and a clone, which is, and I've always looked at it, and I'd say it. I want to say some probably made out of the same factory, just different label swap, which that probably goes on, or just a complete counterfeit. But anyway, now when I say clones, everyone knows about the masters. To me, these are really entry grade airbrushes. You can really, if you're a beginner, you can really, I want to say, destroy one. Cheap enough to go get you another one. Just price difference. But anyway, I do like the masters. Masters tend to, for me, kind of break down a little quicker. I don't know really why they do it. I know it's kind of cheaply made, but they do have a variety of different ones that I've acquired over the years. There is some things that you have to, and I like the challenge of it, is modifying some of these airbrushes. Like, for example, in the masters, sometimes the trigger will be touchy. You kind of have to grind the rocker arm in there, grind it down just a little bit with a file, and you can make it smoother. Sometimes you got to oil the threads and everything, and get a little seal on there, and make sure your needles are clean. That's one thing. And you always, usually with the masters and all that, you get extra needles and all that. It's just, I like the clones. I think they work out really well. I know a lot of people don't. They like the name brands. Nothing wrong with that. I have name brands. The only two name brands that I do not own are the Grex and the Star Max. And hopefully one day I'll have both those to add to the collection. However, I upgraded from, or downgraded to, the clones, and then I'll be an advocate here. I'm a big fan of the Harbor Freight airbrush. It is a workhorse. It's I really loved gravity feed, but the siphon is really what I do a lot more. I change paint in midway. I like to, just the way my style is, I like to paint one. I don't like to put one color in, try to get it all out. And, and if you get paint in there, you're trying to get it to not change too much colors, so you can do a little modulation. Siphon, you can pretty much put a little bit in what you want, paint, dump it out, and keep going. Or you can have multiple cups and just swap out as you go. It's just easier. But I do like the Harbor Freight. It's I can't remember which version they copied that off of, but they have a new one out. I would like to get it, so when this one ever really goes away, I'm going to probably end up getting the one they have it now at Harbor Freight. It's got another name to it. But again, the Harbor Freight, some people don't do it, but I go in and I sand down with a needle file, the rocker arm, to get it a little more smoother, and just a few little mods here and there. But other than that, that's what I use the majority of the time. I like the $20 airbrushes. I think they work really, really well. But anyway, I thought we'd do another Fun with Models episode. That is one of them things where I didn't know I was a collector of airbrushes till, I've accumulated quite a few of them. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got going on today. We are reminiscing, going through airbrushes. So that's what I got going on today. Stay tuned for next exciting episode.